Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Michael Petrow. Welcome to another Real Debaters production. Thank you so much for joining us again. This week in the living room, in the virtual living room, our new friends of the show. I couldn't be more happy that we got to hang out with Charles Fernandes and his partner, his lovely partner, Claudia Orellana. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, and I told her I would in advance, so check the box. Anyways, they are from the Nerdgasm. It is a YouTube channel. It's one of my favorite new YouTube channels. It's from the mind of Charles Fernandes himself, actor, comedian, filmmaker, creator, host, and nerd. Everything nerdy, geeky, movie-related, TV-related, video games. If you can think of it, and it's in nerd culture, in geekdom, if you will, he dissects it on the show, and it's a good time. Super solid dude. Both of them, lovely people. So they came on the show. And I just said to them, I was like, who are some of your favorite actors? And they were like, blah, 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 blah. This is me not remembering them all. But they said Keanu Reeves. They both agreed on Keanu. So me and Martin went, hit the books, buddy. What are we going to make for him? So we came up with, as always, something stupid. And it was, what Keanu Reeves character would you like to teach you driver's ed? He's the nicest guy in Hollywood. No matter what he does, he's going to have who he is as a person, and he's going to put it into the role. So we debated what Keanu Reeves character would you want to teach you driver's ed. Super fun fucking time. As always, we have fun. We hope you do too, but we had tons of fun on this one. So thanks to them for coming out. You can find them on Instagram. Just search the Nerdgasm. YouTube, obviously. All their links will be in the episode bio when we're done here, so you can go check that out. On the Real Debaters website, therealdebaters.ca, that's where everything Real Debaters is related. It lives. Stop using dumb words, Michael. So the merch stand, the cast of bios, the show itself, if you want to listen to it on a webpage while you're at work fucking around, please, we would love to know that that's happening. Also, our Patreon page, if you want to help out the show, there's some fun stuff there that is interactive. We can get to know each other a little bit. Thank you to all of our fans, too. Thank you to the people who are listening to the show in places we didn't know were being listened to. So big shout out to, in Canada, Prince George, Vancouver, Toronto, Surrey, Port Moody, Edmonton, Carleton Place. Don't know where you are, but thank you. And, of course, as always, to our Manitoba places, Neverville putting up big numbers, as well as Winnipeg. And to our friends south of the border, Ashburn, San Jose, Brooklyn, Southington, and Cedar Grove. Big fun in California with the show. So thank you for that, guys. We appreciate it. We're coming to the close of the year of 2020. Fuck it. That's all I have to say. I'm not here to bitch and moan, but, fuck 2020. Let's move on to 2021. So we got a year in review coming up. We have an interview with a friend of mine, Brad Crawford, who's a cinematographer. We have our final debate of the year as a full cast with Jimmy, Martin, myself, Rob, and who am I forgetting? I'm a fucking asshole. Jimmy, Martin, Mark, Rob, and me all do the final debate of the year. That's around the corner as well, too. We're going to kick 2021 off. We said on our last episode that TV is now included in the show, so we're just going to play with all content. Even if there's a YouTube show that's good enough, we're going to throw it into the mix. So that said, you can expect that coming in 2021. You can expect a YouTube channel coming in 2021. We're working on some short form stuff for you. So as that comes, so shall you be made aware. Yeah. Merry Christmas, happy holiday, happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Have a safe and lovely holiday, and we'll see you in 2021 with some fresh stuff for you. And thank you to everybody who listened to the show this year. This was learning. Like, this is the second year of doing something, and then COVID and whatnot. So I was forced to learn things I didn't want to learn yet, and figured out I could learn them. So that was pretty cool. So thank you to everybody who's listened to the show. If you listen to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the whole episode, just thank you for paying attention to us. And send us an email if you think there would be something you'd want to hear on the show, or a segment, or anything that you think we could do better, or same, or not at all, because we do it the worst, at therealdebaters@gmail.com. All of the spelling and all of our stuff is REEL. I got nothing else for you, so I will cue the reel, and you enjoy the show.
It's Orellana.
That was funny.
You know what?
But I was like, it's fine. Everybody gets it wrong. There's too many L's in there.
It's also, I have a friend, Jose, his last name is the same. So I forgot it, but I do know actually how to pronounce it. So thank you for both.
He lies. He doesn't know how to pronounce anything.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true. Martin will correct me throughout the entire show. With that said, Claudia and Charles, thank you for joining us to virtually debate in the living room for another rendition of the show. We appreciate you guys coming on. I know
Thank you so much for having us. We're super excited.
Yeah, no, we've been this one's a gooder. I can't wait to get into it. But there is some stuff that I want to get into first. That's kind of the silent Bob in the room, so to speak. I had a very big week. I mentioned this yesterday as I was doing the intro for our latest episode. But this is where we can kind of talk about it because we're all super fans of it. Aaron Dole from the show a couple months ago was like, yeah, Skip the Dishes, where I work, is doing something with Moobies and a pop-up. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Is Kevin Smith involved? Because Moobies, for everybody who doesn't know, is the fictional restaurant from The Clerks in the Jay and Silent Bob universe. So I said to him, yeah, if they ask you who could moderate that, you got a buddy who's got a podcast, right? And we had a good chuckle over it, as you would, because it's me on a fucking show with my buddies arguing Arnold Schwarzenegger sex ed teacher questions, right? Like, there's no way I should be that guy. Let's just get that out of here in the open. It should not be me. But I am a giant fan, and I didn't want this to not go well. So I was like, Aaron, here's a bunch of information that I would love it if you passed along to your team so that you guys do a really good job, right? I don't know if anybody knows a lot about him or not, or is an obsessed fan as much as I am. So I just thought, here's a bunch of stuff. You will look good. It will go better. That there's some stuff that people at Skip doesn't maybe not know about Winnipeg content. 2 months goes by, nothing. Monday, he texts me with are you sitting down?
Oh, no.
I was like, who died? It's fucking COVID. Don't start a conversation with, are you sitting down during a fucking global pandemic? And he proceeded to, for the short version of the story, he proceeded to tell me that they had a conversation and they went through a list of people, a very long list. It was not a short list. It was a very long list of people that they all knew. And then they went back to Aaron and said, Aaron, do you know anybody? And somehow I managed to take the book, The Secret, and put it into action. And I put it out in the universe, and somehow it came back.
You white guy willed it.
I white guy willed it. Let's just be honest. Yeah.
That's what I told him when we were talking on the phone. You white guy willed it into the universe.
Yeah, totally did.
It's
Totally.
a beard power.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I think that's what it was, Claudia. Was one beard was channeling another beard, and the energy was just too much. So anyways. So to speed up this story, he tells me on Monday that I have a meeting. We have a meeting. I essentially have a conversation with their communications team. From there, they go, yep, we like what we like you. We think it's a good idea. I was like, you're crazy, but okay, I didn't say that. And I then drafted a bunch of questions that I thought would be good. They took them, they expanded on them in a wonderful way. Oh my God, they made this so easy. Like, for a person who gets to talk to their, and I mean, I'll just say muse, right? Like, comedy, movies, we all know this stuff, right? Like, in some way, shape, or form, the four of us all somehow find something in his movies that relates to our real life, because that's what he does. So I got the question sheet back and lost probably 2 years of my life this week worrying about it and rehearsing. And yesterday morning from Aaron's living room in a very safe environment where we socially distanced. So we kept with COVID protocols. And I got to sit down and moderate a panel for Skip the Dishes and bringing movies to Toronto, and hopefully you can watch the rest of it, because I haven't watched it yet. You guys can tell me what you fucking think of it, because I haven't watched it. I can't watch it yet. But bringing movies to Canada and doing pop-ups across Canada. So there is an attempt to possibly bring it to Winnipeg. There's an attempt to bring it to Vancouver. It's got the vegan options, but right now it's in Toronto.
If you need someone to moderate the Vancouvers.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on. Just tell Aaron I've got that. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we'll pass it. We'll pass some of this real debater's luck along. So I got to sit and talk with him for an hour, and it was unreal. It was absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like I'm telling you, when I saw it through the story notification, and I was like, what? And then when I saw the whole thing, I was like, this is awesome. And I think if I remember correctly, I think him and like as Jay and Silent Bob, they have history with Winnipeg, didn't they? Like
There's a lot.
film something here. I think like they did a Degrassi episode or something that I think they filmed in
They
Winnipeg or something like that. Or I know they've come here and done a comedy show and stuff like that too.
Yes, they have. So,
Yeah.
not committed to memory or anything, Charles, but they've done a couple Jay and Silent Bob Get Old. They came here with the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and you got to go to the casino, watch the movie, do a Q&A with him. They've Jay shot Todd in the Book of Pure Evil here.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Jay was in that, and then Manitoba is the backdrop for Tusk, Bifrost.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And Yoga Hosier's the backdrop is Winnipeg.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. That's the only one I haven't seen yet.
It's so awesome. It really
is, eh? Okay,
yeah,
I gotta check it out.
Johnny,
it's the one about their daughters. That was the big thing. Right?
Yes,
like,
yeah, totally. And so there's all that, and then he tried to buy. He single-handedly thought he was like, "I'm going to bring the Winnipeg Jets back." So when they were doing a Winnipeg Jets ticket fundraising drive for the first season, he tried to get everybody in his company on the phone to buy Jets tickets, just so that there would be a ticket purchased, and then he would be like, "We'll just give them away. Like we won't go to the game. We'll just give them away." So there is a lot. We that's what we talked about, because I was like, Skip is born here, and its head office is here. So why not marry some of that stuff into it if there's time? Because it was a Q&A for people. And Aaron did a great fucking job. Like, I don't know what you guys saw, but Aaron was like frantically, like, I'd pop the question box up and then be like, write as many down as you can. I'll close it. And then you can just come around the monitor and hand me questions. And he was like, he was this. And then it was like, ask him about Jersey Girl. I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? I'm not asking him about, like, we all know we don't talk about Jersey Girl. Like, that's not.
Yeah, no.
You just don't do that. There's so much more to talk about. So I threw that one on the ground and said, fuck it. And, but yeah, so that was, that's
awesome.
That's a local podcaster's dream come true. And everybody can watch it on our Instagram page. I'm going to download it and put it on our website so that people can watch it.
Hell yeah.
How did it look to you? Like, I don't want an ego stroke here, guys. I just want to know I didn't look like a fucking moron. And we'll start with.
Honestly, I didn't see all of it, but from what I saw, it was great. And I thought it was, now hearing how you explained it, it makes sense why I was like, it was running really well. Like, It didn't seem like there was any real awkward pauses between questions or anything that you would think would happen in like a live, you know what I mean? No, it was smooth, man. It was good. And like, again, you guys know what you're doing.
Thank you very much, because we figured out how to do an Instagram live an hour before. Like, we were all online because no one had done one, right? Like, the company hadn't done one, and I mean, we hadn't done. And this is so we were and like Instagram just did an update last week. So what we all knew, they changed a bunch of shit around. Fuck you, Instagram, if you're listening. And yeah, like if you knew that, we would. Why? But so there was that. So there was, and then doing it from a living room, doing it, trying to feed it into a monitor so that we could all watch it. Like, it was just the technical aspects of it. But that whole system is now proprietary to the Real Debaters. So if you need hands doing Instagram lives, anybody out there, get at me. We got a really fucking shitty rig system. It was a $5 dollar store, like, headrest you put your phone in, and then we duct taped it over a Godfather coffee table book.
Oh yeah.
and then like balanced it so it wouldn't fall, and then put a fruit bowl behind it so it wouldn't tip over, and then had a monitor on the TV, and Aaron's on the other side of the huge 50-inch fucking screen TV, and I'm snapping on either side like, more questions, more, give me mirror, like Jack Nicholson from Batman, mirror, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I was like, just a fucking moving wreck. But all in all, I mean, Kevin, if you're listening, I know you like the tweets, and thank you so much for your time. that was so much fun. I couldn't have asked for a better hour. And you're the gem that everybody knows you are, man. Like, he's such a sweet human being. It kills me. It's like, why can't you just take that DNA and make all of Hollywood like him? Why can't you just make that?
Yeah, it would definitely be a.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Did you just say
Yeah.
he wants to spread Kevin Smith DNA on just like on the world?
Yeah, I did.
Is that your idea? That's what you want to do?
Yeah.
Just get Kevin Smith DNA and just spread it.
The
To the world.
The highlights I can tell you about that stick in my head. The two that are my favorite are when he started, he said, we're going to spread movies across Canada like a virus. And I was like, don't say that. And then he caught himself. And then I meant to say Great White North in reference to his Great White North trilogy with Tusk and Moose Jaws. I called it the Great White Nation. That was, I had to cover that one.
God. Michael.
I didn't mean to do that. And I was like, no, not in reference to the color of our skin, but because we're so fucking cold. So I somehow managed to cover that one. But one of the questions was, someone's like, can you ask him to do I Am Silent Bob Snap from Endgame? So I was like, can you do that? And he looked direct in the camera and then was like, I am Silent Bob, and then snapped just like him.
That's awesome.
I was like, okay, I'm good.
Oh my god,
I'm good.
That's great.
So those are my memories for sure. We'll probably watch it. Oh, it'll be like, you know, when you meet somebody and you don't want to call them too soon. That's what I'm gonna treat this video like. I'm gonna be like, I'll call you in a week.
You don't want to be needy.
No,
you don't want to be needy.
No, I don't want to ruin it. Right? I don't want to use it too much. So, anyways, so that is how yesterday went, and that is how we can explain my hour with Kevin Smith.
You gotta write it. You gotta make your memoir. Start making it now.
Chapter 1.
That's the title. That's the title of the memoir. His whole life is gonna be in 1 hour in a book. That's it.
It's just the transcript of the whole hour.
Yes.
All it is.
Yeah, totally. 7 pages for $29.99. Get it at your local chapters. Anyways, so there was some news this week that I thought would be fun to talk about. So we all know that Johnny Depp is going through some shit, and the show, we don't prescribe to rumors, conjecture, and all that stuff. We'll let the courts figure that out. I will say, and I think we can all agree that, like, this is the first and only time that Johnny Depp has ever been in this much serious shit before, and has a laundry list of people who are like very nice, weird, soft human being, not a wife beater. Again, confirm or deny. I don't want to get into that topic conversation, but Warner Brothers did a thing. They were like, this is too much heat for us to handle with Fantastic Beasts and you being cast as Grindelwald. So did I pronounce that right, Martin?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
thank you. I don't want to get beat up by the Harry Potter fans in the comments section.
It's not an ethnic last name, so you're good.
Okay, thank you.
Pronouncing those.
Claudia, it sounds so much like the last name of Princess Leia, like Orellana or Orellana. Organa.
Yeah.
Thanks. See, I just fucked that up too. So
that's awesome.
So you're royalty to me, all right? Just get some buns on the side of your head, and we'll call it a day. Anyways, so Johnny Depp was pulled out of the movie. He was fired essentially, and Mads Mikkelsen has been cast to replace him. So the polite and mannered thing to do would be to say, Charles or Claudia, what do you guys think about this?
Oh, well, first of all, Johnny Depp should not have been cast in that.
Oh.
Like, he had no business being in that role to begin with, because just because he's done Pirates of the Caribbean does not give him the right to take over every role. And what was with the blonde hair? Come on. It does not work.
I mean, so I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, like the books and the movies. I'll be honest with you, this whole Fantastic Beasts series, to me, it's in the same category as like The Cursed Child. It's just, I pretend like it doesn't exist because I find that they're kind of ruining the timeline and they're kind of fucking around with things, kind of like Disney and Star, like they're just fucking around with the good things that I'm like, it's a universe, explore this universe, please,
Totally.
My thing too is, I thought that the Harry Potter series did such a good job of casting British talent.
Yes. Yeah.
Nothing against Johnny Depp, but I don't understand how they were like, Johnny Depp is going to play the new Voldemort versus getting just a good English or good, like a good British actor. Like, I think it's what you were kind of saying, Claudia, is that Warner Brothers is a studio that they have a lot of money and a lot of properties, but they have a lot of history of just fucking things up a little bit. And I think that they were like, we'll get that Pirates of the Caribbean money. We'll get that Pirates of the Caribbean fan base, you know?
All those single moms.
Because like, yeah, so there you go. Yeah.
I believe it. Yeah.
Even the fact that like they got rid of Johnny Depp so quick, but J.K. Rowling is over here just being like, I don't care for transgender people very much, and they're kind of like, whoa, okay, just hide in the shadows, you know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know, it's just, I love Mads Mikkelsen. Like, if they had casted him in the beginning, I feel like maybe I would have cared more about this franchise, like. Because he's great.
So much more of a villain. Like, you can see it.
He's just a way better actor.
Have seen Hannibal with him in it. Oh my god! Like, he'll scare the shit out of everyone. And that's when you're reading the books. That's what you picture. Like, Grindelwald's not a bitch. Like, he's like he's a scary fucking dude. I mean,
yeah.
Not Gandalf.
Gandalf. Voldemort?
No. Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Yeah.
That's his enemy. He has to be scary.
That's his exact opposite. Like his yin to his yang, right? Those are the two wizards of the top two wizards of their time. So they have that contrast. Yeah.
And the fact that they had a little bit of a relationship there. Like, I love that, you know, that could be something really neat to explore. But again, Warner Brothers, to me, I'm like, if they're going to do it, it's to be like, hey, look, we have gay wizards in a movie. We're forward thinking. And it's like, you're missing the point. Like, that's not like, now I just don't understand what we're doing.
Yeah, like, there's that big I'm glad you brought that up, because there's that big difference between giving a shit about casting different ethnicities, different walks of life, different sexual orientation, and checking a box versus giving a fuck. And prime example, I watched the New Mutants last night and I was like, this is checking a box. This is not giving a shit about youth going through questions about their sexual orientation and then wanting to see that on screen. This is just like, we got credit. You know, people won't protest against us. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. Like, just, it's like a silent sorry, right? You got to say it. You gotta mean it. But to the point though, Martin, what are your thoughts on this before I chime in and kill it? Like, where are you with Mads replacing Johnny? And
Mads.
You like Mads?
Yeah. I thought he was a better, I mean, did they cast Johnny Depp because he pretends he's British all the time, kind of like Madonna does? Is that what happened? Like, I don't know, man. I like Mads Mikkelsen. Like, I've always been a fan of him as a villain. Like, one of my favorite movies is like a movie called, do you ever see Valhalla Rising?
Yes.
Oh, dude,
like
so good.
Yeah, such a good action film. Yeah, it's like it's from 2009. If you've never seen it, it's like, I think it's from Denmark.
Yeah,
Denmark
same director as Drive. It's the same director as Drive.
Such a good film.
Yeah, it was
Mads, Claudia, you mentioned Hannibal. That show still has a conversation about greenlighting the final season. They have said that it would involve Buffalo Bill. They have said that it would tie everything together, that they had to rush because they got canceled while they were still in production. So they really had to speed a lot of shit up. Yeah. And I think it's Brian Kelly that does that show, and he also does
Brian Fuller.
Brian Fuller, that's it. Thank you. He also does American Gods.
Yeah, and that show got fucked over with that show too.
Yes, he did. Like, it seems that he's getting 2020 is not his year to shine anymore. Like like, I love American Gods. It's one of the best, and like the tactileness of the two shows, like Hannibal and American Gods, the way they do the special effects and the blood, and there's that Brian Fuller aspect to it that you can't help and go, okay, I know who that is, and that really that storytelling on Hannibal really put Mads in I mean, he's Le Chiffre to me, if that's how you pronounce it, from Casino Royale, right?
Casino Royale, man.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's kind of where I think we all found out.
Tears of Blood was
man.
Right?
Great touch.
I love that he was like a classic Bond villain. He's got this weird, he fucking bleeds blood. Like, let's do it, you know?
Totally.
Like,
And he's got a new independent flick out that he did in Denmark in his home country, and apparently it's just all the cat's ass right now. I've been meaning to get into it, but like,
what does that mean? Like, is it supposed to be good or bad? Because I don't know.
Everyone knows the best part of a cat is its ass.
butt?
So.
Yeah.
Little butthole.
Yeah. I don't know where to, like, when you said that, I'm like, is it good? Is it bad? Like,
Well, it's like
that's
when
for
people
you.
say, I
You
heard
see
it
that?
from
the
the
cat's
horse's
meow,
mouth.
right? That's what you say. The cat's meow. It's the
Yeah.
cat's meow.
Yeah.
Not the cat's. I've never heard the cat's ass, Mike. Sorry, I'm calling you out on that.
All right.
Never heard that expression ever.
Fair enough, and I can already feel it heating up in here, so this is good. I like that. It's getting feisty. But there's some context to this CNC where I have been saying sayings wrong lately because I got Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. I bought his autobiography. So the captain of the best sayings ever, I've been mixing up what sayings he has in real life. So it is cat's pajamas, right? It's not cat's ass, because the ass is like, it's dirty asshole. I clean my cat's ass. It's not the best part of the fucking
You
cat.
clean your cat's butt?
Okay.
What do you
Good
do?
man.
Hang on. Shauna listens to this. She cleans Burger's ass with cat wipes. You can actually buy them. They're meant for cat buttholes, and you can wipe said butthole with said wipe. And then, because he's 35 pounds. You guys don't know that, but I have a 35-pound cat that can't clean himself.
Oh,
Shit.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now.
It looks like Garfield.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like
That's-
Garfield.
That's a
Really?
Garfield cat. Well, good for him.
I'll bring him
He's
over at
living
the end of the
his
show because I got to wait until he's.
By people.
I'm saying, what a great cat.
That's a great life.
I get Garfield now. It
That's
makes
okay.
sense.
I've taken poop out of my dog's ass.
Yeah.
before when it's struggling. So
As you
I'm
do.
with ya.
Right.
You gotta help, man. And you know they're like little babies in a way. So.
Don't know what they're doing.
The point is, Mads is the cat's pajamas.
Yeah.
Another.
Are you like, is your vocabulary now based on the vocabulary of a Southern white man? Is that what you're going for?
Well, have you ever heard this saying? I heard it from the horse's mouth. When you think about it, it's like, so does that mean you're crazy? Because horses, or did a horse cough on you and you're like, yep.
Exactly. Did you drop DMT and have a conversation with a horse? Is that how that?
I'm like,
I
so
think
don't
that was
trust
based
that.
on Mr. Ed. Is that based on Mr. Ed, that expression? Because remember, Mr. Ed was a talking horse, right?
You know what? And that's what I
Wilbur.
think. It has to be, because I'm like, what the hell else does that mean? Like,
Mr. Ed was pretty wise, right?
yeah, I guess so. He talked
Yeah.
in English.
We've got two perfect sound bites so far.
I've also heard Spanish Mr. Ed, though. I've heard Spanish Mr. Ed. It's quite awesome. Yeah.
You can dub anything.
Eduardo, Mr. Eduardo.
Yeah.
Mr. Eduardo.
Yeah.
Mr. Eduardo. No, but we've got two perfect sound bites so far. We've got Martin going, is Mr. Ed smart? And we've got Claudia going, Voldemort is, or we've got Voldemort's not a bitch. So I already like where this is going.
That's great.
Speaking of, so before we close off and kick into this here, which, ladies and gentlemen, there is a soundbite coming. I can't wait to use it. We finally figured out how to incorporate soundbites into the show. I played them for these guys beforehand, so as I'm running Command Station living room right now, excuse my timing. I've got really good timing. I just may be off today because I got to move some programs around. But as for Mads, I think Mads is a perfect pick to replace this because of everything we've kind of said here, where he's creepy, he's kooky, he's played dark characters before, he's believable on screen. No matter what happens now, I just can't look at, like, I love Johnny Depp, but I can't see anything but Jack Sparrow with an earpiece in having his lines fed to him. Nothing against being that kind of actor if that's what makes you get a command performance out of somebody, but it's almost like you said with the housewives, Claudia and Johnny Depp being that bank, like, it's almost like, hey, you're being too obvious with how bankable he is. Go with another English actor. Go with a European actor. Go with an Australian actor. Just don't have the American that brings the bucks in, because you've already got Jude Law there, right? Like that was big enough. You already have a backdrop of Harry Potter fans like you, Charles, where like you guys will give it a chance. And then you've got J.K. Rowling, who just needs to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So
like, even Lucas was smart enough to sell it, and he wasn't even doing crazy stuff. Like, you know, he wasn't going around being like, you know, Luke never really likes black people, to be honest. Like, we weren't like, whoa, what? You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't going crazy. He was just like, I've earned my right. I want lots of money now. Like, let J.K. Like, you're gonna make a lot of money if you sell it. Just do it, man. You're ruining it for people. Like,
you
just
are,
let it
yeah.
go.
Yeah. And like she went like, how do you not let go of something and move on when you go from living in the backseat of your car writing these novels to then being a billionaire? You don't have to do anything. You can just sit at home and be a spiteful bitch all on your own and be quiet.
Right.
Like you've got fuck you money, so fuck off.
Right. And I mean, and like, look, like they still like Lucas has an open invitation anytime he wants to walk on a set or anytime, you know what I mean? Like she'll probably get that same treatment too.
Yeah.
I mean, unless she keeps saying this insane stuff. But like, yeah, like so lucky to be in a position like her. And it's kind of sad because I talk to Harry Potter fans, I see stuff online and people are conflicted now to like show their love for Harry Potter because they don't want it to be supporting her. And I get that, you know, but at the same time, I'm like, fuck it. Like separate the two. When I say I love Harry Potter, it has nothing to do with that woman. I know she's a part of it, but it has nothing to do with her.
I prescribe to cognitive.
I'm just a big fan of magic. I like magic.
Yeah.
Anytime there's magic on screen, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I just go down, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Like I like a fantasy fucking story. That's all I care about. I really don't care about the people. Like I almost prefer the old days where you didn't even know who these people were. You would just see a name and you're like, cool. You know what I mean? Like
levitate shit. Good. I'm good.
Yeah. Also, be a normal fucking celebrity. And what are you doing running your own Twitter? I never understood that.
Like,
just get
pay somebody
to do it. What are you doing?
Pay somebody. Seriously. Pay somebody who will be like.
An intern can be like JK could say something to an intern like, hey, write something about how I don't like transgender people. And they could be like, okay. And then don't tweet that. Tweet a normal thing. And like, she'll never know because she's in a different world.
Yeah.
Today for breakfast, I had toasted marmalade. That would have been a way better tweet.
Right? Like,
agreed. J.K. Rowling, we all say shut the fuck up. Keep making good shit, but just shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about you. You got famous for Harry Potter. You didn't get famous for your worldviews. So
good point. Well said.
That's that. Stay in your lane. And I mean, you know, you can support a cause, but if it's a cause that like 3 of your friends don't like, chances are good the world won't like it either.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point too. Yeah, talk to your friends first.
Check with 3 people, and if they all go JK, no, you want that Harry Potter money gone? Yeah. Anyways, so we're gonna start the show, ladies and gentlemen. Our first soundbite of our entire career. Please play the right one, Michael. Okay, here we go. Start of the debate, ladies and gentlemen.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Oh, please don't sue us.
They won't sue us. I went online. I looked at sound bites that were used on radio shows. I looked at sound bites that are used on other podcasts. This is fine. We are not using it to make money. We are using it to parody. We are using it to incorporate into our show. And we don't make money. So if you sue us, we're not doing it. We don't got any money to give you. So just, it's on the record. We put your thing on. Now you know we don't have any money. That said, welcome to the debate, Charles and Claudia. Welcome to the debate, Martin. Welcome to the debate, Michael. Hi, Michael. Oh, yeah, you know you're going crazy when.
Hi, Michael.
So this week's debate is in honor of a movie character that I think we can all agree is the nicest actor in Hollywood, first of all. He's branching out. He's getting into video games. He's getting into animation, playing characters on SpongeBob, playing cats in actual movies. Like he doesn't really give 2 fucks what he does, because he started in a little movie called The Matrix, made a fuck ton of money, and now just does everything for art and nothing for commerce. And that's the best thing about Mr. Keanu Reeves. So our whole debate is inspired by some of our, we have models now. Me and Martin, we've kind of bracketed, like, should we do this kind? Should we do this kind? So this is one of those, would you want to have one of these people come into your normal, boring, mundane life and teach you a skill or teach you a trait? And why would it be fun if they did it? We've done this with Arnold Schwarzenegger. We've done this with Sylvester Stallone. We've done it with a couple other ones too, but we've done so many I can't remember them all. I'm not perfect. So this one is inspired by learning one of the hardest skills that a young person can do, getting your driver's license, learning how to move around, obtaining your freedom for the first time, and essentially learning parallel parking, learning turn signals, learning all of the things that one has to learn to get their driver's license. And what Keanu Reeves character would you want to teach you driver's ed?
Love it. Love it.
right? Like, come on, who doesn't
All of
think
them,
this?
As long as he's in my car.
So, in true fashion, I will start off the show because this is my little.
He's in all of our cars.
He's in all of our cars.
For this episode.
Get into my car, Keanu. So, we put everybody's personal picks into the randomizer, and as I say, random mixer because I can't say anything right. And
Sorry, I just gotta say, like, the song that's playing in my head right now is that song "Get Out of My Dreams and Into My Car."
that's exactly what's in my head
Remember that
too.
song in the 80s? That's what I picture playing right now when Keanu Reeves is, yeah.
So.
Into my car.
Perfect. So we put all of our personal picks into the randomizer, and everybody came out and pretty much got what they wanted except me. I am definitely not winning this week's debate at all.
You could take Rob's if you want.
I could. You know what? I've prepared for this. Rob couldn't make it last minute, so shout out to Rob. No big deal, man. We miss you. We love you. Whatever was going on, you'll kick it in the ass. That said, I will stick with what I got because I feel that Rob's pick would have won anyway. Because, I mean, let's just say it now. Rob had John Wick, and I mean, we've seen John Wick on a horse, but we know John Wick can drive. So, like, let's just say for the fact that we should have eliminated that, but whatever. So, that said, I will start off. I will set the pace. I will create the environment. Get my little camera thing ready here so you guys can see it. This is me creating. No, I'm just kidding. So I drew Kevin Lomax from Devil's Advocate, which is one of my favorite movies in general, because it is based on the 7 levels of hell. In theory, it's taking from Dante's Inferno specifically, and as the story goes, Kevin keeps getting involved in a deeper rung of shit and going further down the rabbit hole, so to speak, and getting to the bottom, the level of hell where he finds out he's the devil's child and he's supposed to have sex with his sister, as you do, and, you know, become the Prince of Darkness and create the Antichrist, right? Who doesn't love a movie like that? That's a Sunday morning movie instead of going to church. So I essentially drew a lawyer. So my first point is he's a lawyer, and he's a damn good one at that, and he's been hired by the devil himself, right? So he's been vetted, right? You want the best of the best. So with that said, who else would you want to teach you to drive? He's a lawyer. He's finite. He's by the book. You're going to get the best education because to him, it's all about memorization, knowing case law, knowing examples, knowing about all the different things that compose getting a driver's license. So you'll know your practical really well. He'll study you. He'll keep you in line so that you ace that practical. And then when you get into the car, he's not going to allow you to cut corners per se, right? Because if you cut corners in law, you open yourself up to possibly being cross-examined and losing a case. So instead of cutting corners, just do it by the book. My third point is he's the smooth Southern boy. He's from Gainesville, Florida. He's got good manners, and he's a mama's boy. We've seen him care for his mom, not knowing that his mom fucked the devil and gave birth to him. That's a problem for later. But driving can be really hard to grasp. It's very pressure-oriented, so having someone who's charming and nice to be around takes away from the stress of, say, parallel parking or what's the proper lane to enter from a right-hand turn. Right? He's laid back. He's got that Florida key aspect to him, or maybe it's the inbred side of Florida. I don't know where Gainesville is. Sorry, Florida. But essentially speaking, you've just got someone who's calm, cool, and collected. He's not going to yell at you. He's not going to freak out. He's not going to pull the wheel away from you. It's going to be almost like a spa-like environment with smooth Southern boy Keanu. Back to the law aspect. Should you find yourself in a jam, like you've got a speeding ticket or a DUI, you have a direct contact with a fucking badass lawyer. Don't breathe. Do what the cops say. You've got him on speed dial. So you've got the same guy who taught you how to drive. Now you've got him.
Driver's ed instructor on speed dial. What fucking relationship? Sorry, I couldn't hold it in. What relationship did you have with your driver's ed instructor?
I'm just saying, maybe he's moonlighting as a driver's ed instructor and he's also a lawyer. So when you find out in the car while he's teaching you, you're like, oh, what do you do for a full-time job? He's like, well, I'm a lawyer. And then all of a sudden, if you get a DUI, he's like, just do what they say. I'll be down there in a minute. 2 for 1, right? It's nice to have in your back pocket when, because you drive drunk all the time. don't want to do your test at all, being the son of the devil most certainly makes him have a line of communication with the dark arts. So if you're willing to sell your soul, if you know you get really bad test anxiety and you just want to bypass the whole fucking thing, just be like, listen, call the devil. I owe you a couple favors. No big deal, right? Just use me and abuse me, whatever. I'll fuck his sister if he doesn't want to, or whatever it takes. Just give me my damn driver's license. So you want to know where I'm going, Martin?
I've seen some pretty shitty situations.
Oh, that's the wrong soundbite.
Nothing is
You know you're gonna go to hell for this.
All right, there we go. There's the right one.
You know you're gonna go to hell for this.
There we go. So basically having dark arts on your side, you might be able to completely skip past doing the test altogether. He just makes it happen. You just owe him, your firstborn in your life. Lastly, he's got drive and passion, right? He wants to get to New York. He wants to get to that big firm in the sky or in the ground and like really excel at his career. He's sick and tired of doing small court shit and being in a hot courtroom. So he's going to push you, right? He's not going to let you give up on yourself. He's not going to say, all right, fine, fuck it, right? Like he's where he gets in the movie is based on his drive and passion. So you could definitely anticipate somebody with that kind of drive and passion to be a good coach, to be a good teacher, that would eventually fall off on you and probably pick up a good habit. I have got nothing else to say. I know Martin is drooling. I can see it in the Zoom meeting.
I'm typing notes right now.
I know you are. That's what I count on you for. So with that said, we will give the first jabs to the CNC Music Factory, Claudia and Charles. I don't care who goes first.
Oh, damn.
Just take a big Cleveland steamer on his chest. That's what usually works.
Well, man, I mean, in America, don't they want to sue everybody? And I don't think I could deal with a driver's ed teacher would be like, that guy didn't stop for you. Sue his ass. That pedestrian was walking the street. Sue his ass. I don't know if I could deal with that.
I mean, also, too, like, he is a lawyer. So, I mean, how do I know that he's not telling me what's actually there or what he thinks I need to know, or like, how do I not know he's going to lie?
Right.
Fair enough.
Touched by the devil, so how do we know any of the rules he knows is real? Like, what if he's like, yeah, just drive through there and it's a crowd of people?
Damn it, Dad.
You told me it was right.
That's true. I never thought that maybe Pacino would be like, use your driving school to get us some clients by like telling them to drive through a group of people, and then we have to, because they only represent guilty people. That's the point of their firm.
Right.
So like he would just be asking you to cause a bunch of shit and then rack up court cases for daddy. I never thought of that. Well played.
That's right. Yeah.
We don't use that word on this podcast anymore. No more daddy is banned. Let's just not use that. It makes me very uncomfortable. I don't like it.
Daddy.
Let's not use that word.
Daddy.
Yeah, that brings up the whole incest thing.
Yep.
I mean,
once again, the South.
Yeah, like his brain is so like, and how do I not know, like, they're supposed to take you on a route that's meant to like test you out and like test out your skills and everything. How do I not know that the route he's taking us is to his sister's place? And then it's like, you got to make a stop quick. How do I know what his focus is? Is his focus on me getting my driver's license and being the best driver? Or is it on getting visit with sister?
I feel like getting in the car with him would be like getting in the car with a drug dealer. You'd be like, no, we're gonna get the weed soon. I just gotta make a couple stops along the way.
Right.
No one wants something from McDonald's or no? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want your license? Do you want your license?
Hang on,
I just want my drugs and I want to leave.
Do you want your license? Because I need to fuck my sister. We'll get to your license. Just let me fuck my sister. I got this thing I gotta do. All right, we'll get back to the test. It's on the way. It's on the route. Like we can do a route around my sister's house. You have make a very perfect point, Charles. Be like,
this is one of the times where I'm thankful Mike is an only child. When he's saying, we're gonna fuck my sister pretty soon. I'm like, oh, Mike, that's.
Yes, it's all in.
Also, this version of Kevin Lomax, it was filmed in the 90s, right? So some of those rules don't apply to 2020. Like, all that stuff. Texting while driving. They'll still be texting. Is there even texting?
He pulls out a phone. Whoa.
Right?
Is this? Am I being topped by
old Keanu? Whoa.
Am I being topped by?
It'll never. I mean, the fact that even he loves it,
All right. Well, Martin, I will let you have.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say if you were gonna slip over, I'm like, I'm not done yet. I haven't even started.
No.
Okay, so you said if you make a deal with the devil, he'll pass you and don't deserve it. Aren't you a danger to society? Like, wouldn't you be ill-equipped to drive if you just got a pass? And I feel like if you did make a deal with him, I don't know if you ever watched Simpsons, but remember when they got the monkey claw?
Yeah.
Like you would make a wish, but it would be a bad reality that you would get your wish, and you'd just be like, okay. Like I feel like you'd be like, okay, you'll pass your driver's license, but then get in a horrible car accident and can never drive again after your first day on the road.
That sounds like the devil.
Yeah, exactly. This is the devil you're dealing with.
I didn't say we're playing with the dark arts here, man. You got to have a strong stomach for this driving school. This is Martin. Before you go on, this is called To Hell and Back Driving School, by the way.
So he's a hotshot lawyer, right?
Yep.
What did he do in his life that now he's a driver's ed instructor? What happened there? Like no one chooses. I don't think anyone chooses really to become a driver's ed instructor. That's one of the things you're like, well, it pays well. I really don't know what else I can do with my life. This is what I'm doing. I feel like this is, remember the Mighty Ducks when Emilio Estevez got community service? I feel like this is his community service. So what happened? Did they find out he banged his sister and had to do like hours of community service with driver's ed? Is that the guy you want teaching you at a young age? I don't know.
I got nothing. I got nothing but syllables.
And my last point, I have to hang out with a lawyer. Like Mike, we know I don't know what I don't think I want to. Mike, we know a lawyer. He cheats at poker. I don't want to hang out with that person.
That's true. That's very true. We do know a lawyer who cheats at poker. Oh, I never even thought
it's a house game, a game with your friends, and you cheat at poker. I'm like, you don't need the money.
This friend is listening. You better change your ways, man.
Martin, do you have anything else?
That's it. I just really don't want to hang out with the lawyer. I don't think I'm going to pass on that.
All right. Let's end me here, and we will move on to. We're gonna give our special guests the floor at the end to tag team us, because I want you to know how that feels, Martin. Because I just lined them up to do that. So yeah.
Oh, what's with all the sexual references today, Michael?
I don't know. After hanging out with a guy who named his menu cock smoker and pickle fucker, I wonder why I'm making all these sexual references today. So, Martin, please tell us. You have the floor. Who did you get to teach you driver's ed?
Okay, I got Neo from the Matrix, but he doesn't have any powers. So it's just regular Neo. I approached this like I looked at driver's ed teachers. What are they? What qualities would I want in my driver's ed teacher? For the first thing, I thought you want someone who doesn't express any emotion, because you don't want someone who could snap at the novice drivers, because we make a lot of mistakes, and some people are just terrible at driving. And imagine someone experiencing that over and over again. And you know what? When I watched all the Matrix movies, I did not see one single emotion from Neo. So I mean, they're and you know what? One thing all driver's ed teachers have in common, they're all quirky in their own way. I would imagine with just the way society portrays them, they all have their little quirks. And I think if you had Neo as your driver's ed instructor, this is a point against you, but I'm going to say it. It would be like kind of having a conspiracy theorist as your instructor, anti-government, control, everything. I feel like you'd be at a traffic light and it would be red. And then Neo would be like, why aren't you going? And I'm like, well, it's red, Neo. He's like, well, there is no traffic light. What is going on here? So
Thank you.
Thing. Like he's a conspiracy theorist by nature. What else did I have here? Safe to assume that he probably downloaded some sort of driving course, because when he was like in the Matrix downloading everything, like he doesn't have his powers, but he does have all the knowledge that he had from the previous round, and he brought it to this one. So
agreed.
Safe to assume he's probably taken some sort of crazy driving course to help him fight against agents in the Matrix. It's just you want your soldiers to be well prepared. So I think that's something that they would have you do. And what does Neo do in the Matrix? I think he frees a lot of minds, right? Like I think in the second one they said they've never freed so many minds in such a short amount of time since he's been around. and what did Morpheus say? They always free younger minds because they don't free past a certain age. So he's been there working with youth, which is the majority of people who take driver's ed. So safe to say that he's probably mentored a few youths in his life, so he's used to working with younger children, has that in his background. And I think that's pretty much it that I had for my driver's ed teachers, Neo. Just to sum up, like, you want someone emotionless. All driver's ed teachers are quirky, and he has all that. Safe to assume that he has all that knowledge with driving, and yeah, that's it. And he's probably worked with younger youth, mentored younger youth as well.
Okay, so because I planned this strategically, and Martin will be, I will go.
It was random.
Well, no. Like
Out of order.
Out of order. No, we're random in our picks, but I get to control the flow. So I'm gonna let you guys jump on dogpile on Martin after I'm done, because I got one major point here, and you kind of underhand pitched it to me, so to speak.
Take a dump on my chest.
That's no, I okay, Daddy.
I mean, yeah, you made a good point about Neo possibly downloading driver's ed and whatnot into his mind before he makes it into our world. The only thing about that is that I'm worried that he might rely on the operator too much, and what if he just has all how to drive in France? And you're learning in Winnipeg, he's all fucked up.
He's on the wrong side of the car,
right? Because he's downloaded, so he doesn't even know that it's fucked up. And then you made a good point too, because then what if you catch him fucking up and he's like, "Well, there is no road."
Yeah.
How do you argue that? You're like, "Well,
you just don't. You just go. You go. You look into his big brown eyes, and you'd be like, "Well, Neo, we're just gonna go."
Because at the end of the day, you have seen this guy do some crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
But see, part of me is also nervous. Like, what if at one point he thinks a sentinel is going to attack them, and he just starts punching the shit out of it, and you're driving, so you're like, dude, what?
I'll make sure I don't get a Tesla.
He's like,
I get a Ford Model T, maybe, to my driver's ed.
So
just make a Bluetooth call and convince him it's the car, and he just.
Well, I think because you mentioned this about how he's freeing young minds and everything, how do we know that everything's not a simulation? Like the woman in red in that movie, you don't know that it's not a simulation. The whole thing could be a fucking test. He's just like, drive this way, and it turns out that's not the right way, and you're like, you failed the test. And his calm monotone voice, I mean, it'd be like, you are driving into a playground, turn right. Playground.
I think MapQuest would have been more successful if we had Neo as the voice of the directions.
True.
It tells you to do a U-turn, but it says no U-turns. There are no U-turns. You're like, oh, okay.
What else? Anything else, Claudia?
No, that's good.
That's fine.
I think everything is fake with Keanu, with Neo to be in that whole realm. I still believe he could control everything. I'm not in control. That's kind of a turn on, but still,
I love it.
Who wouldn't? If you could change the light, you'd never be late for a meeting ever again.
Right?
Well, I
want him installed in your car.
This is sounding like a new option to buy, like with Apple CarPlay. Like you just buy Neo with your car.
What if Elon Musk just gets Keanu Reeves to narrate everything Tesla does now?
Are you fucking kidding me? I would buy that car in a minute. In a fucking minute.
It's gonna be called the Neo. It's gonna be exactly the Neo. It's not gonna get sued because it's not the neon. It's the Neo. Right? Remember the neon?
The first 200 models come with the Morpheus phone that pops out that everybody wanted. They're like, "Where's that phone?"
That was a pretty cool phone.
And they all get Morpheus. They all get Morpheus shades with no arms on the side. They just get the ones that rest on the nose, right? And then the long coat that you get, you basically get decked. You are Neo.
Everyone gets a free Gucci suit with each Tesla Neo purchase as well.
That's the upgrade.
Yeah.
Shauna's customer bought a brand new Tesla, and it's got the it's got the DeLorean doors on it.
Oh,
and
the suicide doors?
The suicide doors, and it's got the insanity button. That's the model he's got.
Oh my god, that is real.
That is real. That is 100% real. And
What is the insanity bud?
So you basically just push this button and it just floors your car, like floors it. It's so stupid.
What?
Yeah, and it goes what, like 30? I don't know. It's something dumb. Like how fast this thing can go.
I think it's 0 to 60, but I think you can edit it. But it's 0 to 60 inside the city, so that you go from 0 to 60 in a second. Like it's
because it's like it's scary how fast.
I've
seen videos like at first I'm like, that can't be real. It's crazy.
No,
the fact that even exists, that's clearly, Elon Musk being like, hey, I'm Tony Stark, why not?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Put a button in a car that does that.
You know what's funny?
And now, Elon, get Keanu Reeves to narrate all your robot Tesla shit.
Hello, welcome to your new Neo.
It's so his voice is so relaxing. It's so mellow, and you're just like, just like, and you're arranged in the car, like that's like road rage, right? Yeah, everyone experiences it, and like with that voice, you're like, oh, all right, I just cut me off, but that's okay. Keanu Reeves said I must make a right turn right now.
Like you get into a hardcore accident, your legs are pinned underneath the dash, and you're like, it's gonna be fine. You're like, I believe it will be.
Well, I'm gonna marry up with Charles here on his point about downloads and incorrect downloads, but mine comes more from not accidentally downloading a map in France and mismazing yourself, so to speak, but like it comes from the idea that all of a sudden he downloads a program for like Formula One in the middle of like, downtown rush hour, right? And he reaches the wrong program, and next thing you know, you go insanity button in the middle of like Portage in Maine, or like, Stanley Park for that matter, Martin. Like he's got a lot. He's got a lot of info, but I'm worried about mismanagement of files. Like his and like, second of all, how is he going to be able, like, is he just going to be constantly trying to plug himself into the car? Like he's been plugged with so many things for years.
I just thought he was really into body modification.
Is he just going to be like
driver's ed teacher? That's a huge thing now.
Like, I want to say this, and I only want to say it once because, well, I've been waiting to say it since you started talking, but is he just going to be sitting there finger banging the lighter? Like, is he just going to be like? Where
does he finger bang a lighter in any of the Matrix movies?
Well, no,
he's a smart guy. He's a programmer.
I know that.
But here's my point against that. My point against the downloads. Like, yes, he has all that knowledge that he brought back with him from the other realm, but he learns. He's still gonna learn how to do shit here. I mean, he's more than capable.
Yeah, he's not a machine.
Right? He's not. He's a person.
But hey, going back to one other thing, even at the end, so Neo does fly, and from what we even see, they reference that he does a Superman thing. Is it possible that he's been flying for so long and so used to just being a god that being in the car, he actually goes crazy?
Has an anxiety attack?
Like he forgets everything, and he's like slowly like trying to break everything because he's like, I feel so contained, like he's losing his mind.
PTSD from being back.
Yes.
In the metal tube.
Or the car, no matter how many insanity buttons, it'll never go as fast as he's been. So he's just always like, I've never had to stop for anything.
So he's basically going to become a driver's ed teacher with that, with what you said.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. He's going to become a driver's ed teacher. He's going to be
he's depressed again, and he's just bitter and old.
But he's still going to have that very soothing voice. He's still going to say everything. Even though he's going to be maybe in the inside, he's going to be raging. He'll still be like not able to express any emotion because he's had some freaky times in the Matrix and still like kept his cool, right?
But he will every now and then give you that look where it's like, this guy's seen some shit. I don't know. He's seen something.
All right. We've given. I think we've shit. I think we've Cleveland on the chest of Martin enough. So.
Adios, turd nuggets.
Moving on. Moving on.
I get that one. Does my voice sound like him?
No, not at all. Well, that was the wrong one. We're getting. This is the first day we're doing this, so like everybody listening,
that shit, dude.
Like just bear with us. I will label the sound because they're not labeled properly. They're not labeled for when they should be done. They're just labeled at what portion of the show. So I have like 7 of the same button. So I'm like, maybe that one's the right sound today.
Do you have 7 that says mid or like debate? 7 buttons that say debate. Like, how are you supposed to know what each one does? I'm like, debate. Yeah. debate 1, debate 2. Yeah.
I do need a debate, so this one.
Hopefully it has relevance. Okay. So what I meant to do was that one. There we go. So so everybody knows that signals another debater will be entering the ring, and we will. I will let you guys decide who gets to go first. Normally we don't do that, but because you're a couple, because you're a team, because you're a channel, I feel that you're new, so to play fairly, we'll give you a little bit of an advantage here.
Thank you. We appreciate that. It's ladies' choice. What do you want to do?
I'll go first.
Alrighty.
Ooh.
All right. So Claudia, who did you get?
John Constantine from the movie Constantine.
It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I took the same approach that Martin did. I'm like, what qualities from John Constantine do I feel would lend well to a driving instructor? So he's not perfect, but my first one was no bullshit at giving directions. When he tells you something, he'll be straightforward with it, such as his like sidekick Chaz. He tells him to move the car. He doesn't fucking move the car all the way, so shit happens. He tells the detective Angela drive fast when he's trying to go rescue B-Man, and she does. Like, I think he'd be really good at be like, turn right here, turn left here. He'd be your onboard driving assistant.
Okay.
I like no bullshit when it comes to driving. So that's number one. Number two, I think he's observant and resourceful. Obviously, we know he can see beyond the normal realm. And he can see angels and demons and things around. And I think you need that when you're driving, because right up in front of you, you're going to see a car. But what if there's like an accident up in ahead? He's going to tell me to look beyond that shit. He's going to be like, look around you, man. And he's a mega fighter. We know that based on that last fight scene. He killed 13 demons that surrounded him in the rain. He's going to show me how to use my eyes. Check my blind. Turn right, turn left. There's a fucking car on your back. Watch out. He's going to show me how to do that. I believe it. Also, he's really good at dodging traffic. And Frogger, Frogger knows how driving works. So he's going to tell me to get out of the way when I need to. That's another. Third, he's a supreme negotiator. So again, with Michael's argument, he has that connection with the devil, except the devil hates him. He convinced the devil to give him 20 more seconds and managed to save himself. That kind of negotiating tactic would be excellent when trying to get out of a parking ticket. I know I've been in several parking tickets and I need that, like,
Nice.
hey there, sir. You can give me 20 seconds. Isn't that your son speeding down that way? I know you've been waiting for a driving ticket all day, but like, you can give me 20 seconds and let me off, right? Something like that. I'm going to also go with Martin's point, his calm, sexy voice. Everybody needs a calm driving instructor. They need them to be monotone. I think that's Keanu Reeves a little bit.
Yeah.
That might just be him. But he lends that to John Constantine. If you look, there's only one time where he gets mad at the detective Angela, and that's when he's trying to push her to like discover new secrets. The whole other time, he's as cool as a cucumber. I think there's like a quote that I have here. He says to Angela about her sister dying, he's like, her soul would go straight to hell, where she would be ripped apart over and over through all of eternity. And he says it so monotone. He'd be so calm. It'd be amazing. And then lastly, he's just a good food person in general. So, you build some rapport, just as Michael was saying, like you spend a lot of hours in that car with your driving instructor. I mean, we would stop for waffles and coffee, talk about that music that was playing in his apartment, that jazz song. Like we would get along, and then, maybe stuff would happen. Cover your ears, Charlie.
You would have him on speed dial.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I would have him on speed dial.
Yeah. And he's comfortable riding in shotgun. He never drives a car in that movie. So I'm assuming he just likes to tell people around. So he'd be good in that role. I like to lead. That's why I think John Constantine would be the best driving instructor. Come at me, guys.
Charles, with your permission, sir, with your permission, Martin, I'm impressed. First of all, like that's the game right there, Claudia. So like 10 out of 10 for like using your fun, weird, silly brain, because that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Contrary to what you've said, though, I feel that I can't really argue this, to tell you the truth. Like I think you might end up with someone who's going to have to postpone some of your lessons, because if it was you or a little girl with a devil inside of her chest and he's got to put her into a mirror and pull her out of the apartment and save the day, you might only get like 50% of what you paid for your lessons, right? Because you are dealing with, life, death, God, devil stuff. He's when he's with you, I can totally see it. But when he's not with you, you're like, but I want to learn to parallel park. And he's like 13 demons. And then it's like, well, what, really? You can we do that on Tuesday? That's it. That's all I have though. Martin, what about you?
Can you read that quote again that you said about the sister being ripped apart?
Yeah, her soul would go straight to hell, where she would be ripped apart over and over in screaming agony for all of eternity.
I feel like my driver's ed instructor has said those exact words to me. Like they scared straight. They do that scared straight approach. Like if you don't take it seriously, this is what's gonna happen to your sister. Like I'm like, what? That's pretty good. I like that. And I just want to this is the point against, and I'm gonna piggyback off Michael's point. I don't think that he would postpone appointments. I think it'd be like the drug dealer thing all over again, but with Christian undertones. Like you'd be like, okay, we got to make a stop. I got to do an exorcism here, and then it'll be a lot of time spent in the car with Keanu. Like you'll be a chauffeur. That's what you'll be. You will be Shia LaBeouf. That's who you will be.
Yeah.
Chaz.
Yeah.
Chaz. Yeah.
Will
He
you
has to baptize you before you can start your lesson.
Yeah.
Like slide it in there.
Will you?
Oh, and he's a smoker. The one thing is that he never stops smoking. That's the big thing. Is just like he's just gonna be lighting up in the car all the time, which can be detrimental to your health. Like he doesn't stop smoking throughout that whole movie, except when he runs out of smokes.
I had a point when. Do you think that Papa Mambo would finally let you become
Papa Midnight?
Papa Midnight, not Mambo. That's a band.
I know, Mike. It's ethnic. You have trouble with that sometimes.
Fuck off!
Different
Fuck off! Stop painting me as a racist. I do this with everything. I do this with everything. Like I do this 10 times a day with so many other things. Papa fucking Mambo, Papa Midnight. You know what I was getting at. We all know what I was getting at. I just wanted to talk about Papa Mambo. Is that a Winnipeg band? Why do I feel it's a band from Winnipeg?
Are you thinking Mambo number 5?
No, I'm not.
There's no Tina in our lives right now. A little bit of Tina.
I love how like all of our Keanus would somehow end up driving off the driving lesson. Like mine would go fuck his sister. Martin's would chase after some conspiracy theory. Constantine would be like, sorry, exorcism, not today. Like all of our Keanus are just preoccupied.
You'd be holding the mirror. That's what you'd be doing in that scene. You'd be holding the mirror. You'd be like, I'm just the driver's ed instructor. Am I supposed to be here?
Yeah. When are we driving, John? When are we driving?
We were going over U-turns today, not like demons.
Anyways,
counterpoint.
Oh yeah.
But do you have anything to say?
Yeah,
Well,
Charles.
I was gonna say, like Martin, you made a great point. My big thing was the smoking thing. Like, I don't want the car to just like reek of cigarettes. I don't want to have to pull over so he can cough up blood all over the side of the road. Like, or like, fuck, you might do it in the car, and I don't want to have to deal with that whole thing.
Just get him one of those cups. this like when people chew tobacco, they have a styrofoam cup. He'll just spill blood in that cup.
Like a bag.
Yeah.
Fucking. And also the other thing too is I think I'd be on edge because what if like from the minute he got in the car, he was like, "Oh, there's a demon in you."
I know he'll for sure say that to me.
Like, I had no idea. So I'm like, "Oh, I don't care about driving now."
Well, I mean, if I did have a demon, I'd probably be priority, so he wouldn't constantly hop out of the car to exercise other demons. But I'm gonna bring it back to a line that he told Chaz, and he says, "It's not like it is in the books." So you can read all you want. He can tell you all the stuff, but driving on your own isn't like it is in the books. Like, you have to think on your toes. You're going to get people in your face. Like, you could cut someone off and they could start coming at you. I mean, John Constantine will tell me how to put up with that kind of shit.
Fair enough.
And I know he's a smoker, but at the end of the movie, he does switch to patches. So, to the gum. He does switch to the gum. So I think
so
I could get him to smoke some herbal remedies instead of some tobacco remedies.
But then I gotta listen to this guy chewing like a cow all day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. Anything that comes out of Keanu Reeves' mouth is okay.
Yeah. Especially blood.
That's how they'll clone him.
That's funny. That's too funny. All right. Well, you've been in the hot seat long enough there, Claudia. So we will move on to our final guest here and get Charles to regale us with who you picked. I think it was in your list. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was really excited when I got this. So I got Johnny Utah.
Yes.
Which is, one of my favorite Keanu characters. Point Break's like, I think it should be everybody's top 10 list. Point Break should
easily
be somewhere in there. So I mean, Johnny Utah as a driver's ed teacher, right off the bat, this guy knows all the traffic laws. He's a cop, so he knows all the important laws he needs to know. He knows the way of the road as well. Also, not to mention, he got 100% on his final like cop field exam, which I think is like the equivalent of like your road test, and he got 100. So I feel like that's got to translate pretty well when you're going for your road test. I mean, also the guy, people think he's a hot shot. People think he's some young buck, which he might be, but he's got a lot of experience. He knows what he's doing, and also probably most of the people that he's teaching to drive are young kids. So he's going to know how to relate to these kids. He's going to know how to get them excited about driver's ed. I mean, also he's going to have some wicked stories. This guy's a cop, and funny enough, even though he's young, he's gone undercover. So he's right there. He's got a bunch of cool stories to tell you while you're driving, or maybe while you're stopped for a bite or something like that.
For meatball sub.
Also, the guy has proven that he's very determined, and he's very patient. Like, he had to learn how to surf. He had to become best friends with a bunch of surfers. He fell in love, all for this whole goal of trying to like stop this thing. So like stop these guys. So, I mean, that'll translate into, he has that patience. Like, he doesn't care if it's going to take you 5 lessons to learn how to drive or like 50. He's going to see it to the end, and he's going to make sure you're the best driver that you can be. And like, this guy, he's also a lot of fun. Like, he's going to make it fun. I mean, I know for a fact that at one point when he was learning how to surf, he got so excited. He's like, I'm fucking surfing. And I guarantee that if he's your driver's ed teacher, at one point you're going to be driving and you're going to be so pumped. You're going to be like, I'm fucking driving. Like, who doesn't want that?
Well played, sir. Well played.
I think, I mean, the one last thing, just because I can't help but think of this when I think of Johnny Utah. It has been said, and some people think because he's young, he's this, young, dumb, full of cum kind of guy. But having heard that, all I want to say is that the cum does not define the man defines the cum. And in his case, he's going to make his cum being the best driver's ed teacher ever. All right. Boom. I think that's like everything. I kind of mishmashed a bunch of stuff. But yeah.
You mishmashed as good as your partner in crime there, sir. So you get 10 out of 10, both of you, big gold stars for being as dumb as possible, because that's what this is. This isn't about making sense. This is about making love with Johnny Utah's cum. And
I'm so happy.
Special right there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I wrote that this morning and I was just looking at Claudia. I'm like, what do you think? Like, I think I should end with that. And she's like, well, don't start with it.
Closing with it was definitely the right choice.
You didn't, for all intents and purposes, you didn't want to come too soon, Charles. I get it, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
I want to make sure you guys are satisfied.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, sometimes it just happens.
No.
You know,
there's nothing wrong. It's still an exciting
stimulus.
Yeah.
Not that I'm preaching from personal experience.
Okay, I'll step up first here. You mentioned stopping for a bite to eat, and if we're taking from canon, those are meatball subs that Mr. Busey and him stop for.
Right.
So if we're stopping for food, like we stop for waffles for John, because after you exercise a demon, you get fucking hungry. I love how that's like the next thing you do, right? We didn't mention that, but it was like, okay, so now that you're done like kicking a demon out of a person back to hell, you want to go to an all-night diner. All right. It takes a lot of carbs, takes some calories out of you. Makes sense. But I don't want to be in a car with a Fed eating a meatball sub, getting a driving lesson like that, you know, like it's not that it smells bad, it's just like the cigarette smoke with John. It's just too much. Like you're trying to, like, you know, you're trying to, I don't know, back up in a parallel park, and you just, this Italian pasta is just like fuck off, let me figure out what I'm trying to do. That's my only takeaway. I mean, like he's overzealous. He's definitely got his shit together. I would love to listen to him tell me stories about skydiving and surfing and just being an extreme bro and shooting Anthony Kiedis in the foot and like all of those would be great to kill time, but at the same time they're so interesting. They would pull me away from my objective, but you know, like I would just pull over. I'd be like, tell me all the stories, Keanu. Tell me the stories, Johnny. Tell me, Johnny. So.
Yeah, there's a huge possibility you will not learn anything about
it. No, I'll just be so preoccupied with Martin, what about you?
I like the argument. I really, like I said, ending on come was brilliant. That was funny.
So happy.
My points against it though is like, I think like you said you wouldn't. You don't think you'd be learning a lot about driver's ed, because I think like how's he gonna fit driver's ed when he's too busy doing shirtless surfing? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I feel like you do if you were just hanging out with Johnny Utah. Also too, my other point. So same thing I asked to Michael. Like he's an FBI agent. That's like pretty much the prominent of law enforcement in America. And it's not easy to get through Quantico, and someone to do 100% on their field exam in Quantico. Pretty smart guy, but what the hell did he do now that he's a driver's ed teacher? Like, what happened? What happened there? Was he just too smart? And you know how if you're too smart, you just turn into a supervillain, like an evil genius? Like he was too smart. He lived long enough to become the villain instead of dying a hero. Maybe that's what happened, you know, quote Batman.
When he walks in the rain, he got a cold, and lost part of his brain function.
It could just be the love of the waves. It consumed him more than Quantico and 100%, so he just wants to teach kids how to drive and hit some waves.
I don't think driver's ed is a very low stress environment. I think it'd be equal stress but less pay and less profit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, those are my 2 points. Those are my 2 points.
Those are, yeah, it's funny too. What I was thinking is when we were discussing Devil's Advocate, when you said the lawyer thing, I'm like, well, fuck, my guy's a cop. Like that's a lawyer.
You're pretty much a lawyer with a gun.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. It's not that. There's not that much of a spread.
I'm gonna echo Martin's point here about how I don't know, like, if I could trust his judgment and how much time I would actually learn and how much time we would just be like hanging out. Like that whole time he was at the beach, he was just like spying on Tyler, this girl from behind his car with binoculars. I mean,
the beep and John.
To that, like I feel like he just want to pick up girls, and you know, that's not
he is young, dumb, and like will he have sex with one of his students? Like I mean, Jesus.
Right?
He's like, today we're going to learn how to drive with passengers.
And then not to mention, there was that other time where he was like discussing the whole case and he was like drinking beer and having like Chinese food with John Busey. Like, I feel like he would be drunk the whole time.
Yeah, I think also too, I realized.
How do I know he's not sober?
Funny too, I think in the scene at the, like when they're getting to the ending, it's a year later, so his hair's longer. I'm pretty sure he's drinking a beer and driving a Jeep.
Yeah.
And he's in Australia, so he's like in a different country on the other side of the road. He's like, I don't give a shit. Like, you know what I mean? When I saw that, I was like, well, okay, that's the tough one.
Maybe his extreme alcoholism is why he's a driver's ed teacher now,
He's
right?
like, yeah, and he just tells people, he's like, I'm a better passenger than driver.
While he's drinking a beer and marking your chin.
Yeah.
I mean, you would definitely pass your exam because he would just be in the back drinking, staring at chicks. So that would be good.
I love that it started with young, dumb, full of cum, and then went to like gross, greasy Keanu. Still loving Bodhi, just like, whatever, man. Bodhi's gone. I don't care. Make a left.
Make a left. I got to take my shirt off and go surfing.
Where's Lori Petty? Where's my girl? Where's Lori?
I think it's interesting that, like, I know if Rob were here, his pick was John Wick. That there are 3 Johns in the Keanu pick. Like that, those are 3 character names are John. So
yeah,
but that was pretty fucking interesting.
As an actor. John.
Yeah, you can't tell the difference with each John. Like,
Johnny Mnemonic too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, that's crazy.
There's probably a timeline where all those Johns have the same life. They just like
now we're kind of saying hookerish stuff. I'm like, that's borderline sex work.
Well, I told her, I was like, the way the Point Break ends, he's got his hair, he's got his John Wick hair. He doesn't have the facial hair yet. But he throws his badge into the water, and it's very much like, well, Johnny Utah became John Wick.
John Wick.
Wait a minute, Hank. Are we okay? Could we tie in John Constantine, Johnny Mnemonic, John Wick, and Johnny Utah into the same universe?
Dude,
he's a Renaissance man. Maybe it's the same person, just different times.
If they're able to make all like an Avengers movie with all of them, bringing all the Spider-Men together, there has to be a John multiverse movie where it's just. Bring in all Keanu's Johns. Oh, I would love it.
That'd be funny.
And then it could be,
he's one character.
Gump or like a Benjamin Button,
it's just John. It's just a tale of John, and it turns out he lived all these lives, but is John.
It would be even better if it was just like 7 short movies of all of these Johns, but like him trying to pick up prostitutes, and that's why it's called John. Right?
But you can make it all artsy, like Tree of Lifestyle. So
yes,
it's like pivotal moments in a young man's like. But let's see what happens when this young man blossoms into like and that'd be hilarious.
You get
and he narrates the whole thing. As Keanu the cat.
Terrence Malick to direct for sure. Oh. All right. Well, let's officially tap out of the arena here for a second. So that is 4 ways. That's Keanu 4 ways. Oh, I gotta sneeze.
We just had a 4-way with Keanu.
I am exhausted.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I feel like John Constantine exercised me.
I feel like that girl after him. What's happening?
So we now have a shared platform to pool in our answers. So the whole point of the game is to be as democratic as possible. That's how we roll here. So you can't vote for yourself, Charles and Claudia. You got to vote for somebody else here. You vote for your favorite dumbass pick of them all. That is the point. The best of the worst, so to speak. That's the first episode we ever did, so it's kind of how we've inherited how to do the voting of the show. The first episode was the best of the worst Batman, who played the best worst version of Batman. So we had Clooney.
We should just never speak of that episode.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
That was like episode 1. It was terrible.
But you got to know where you come from to know where you go, right?
Like, you know what, man? Pilot episodes of anything are always tough, I find.
They are. Like even the best of the best have their pilot episodes, and I think the ones who leave it up, I respect them more because it's like, this is where it came from. This is the shit we used to make to like now. And I mean, we can admit that it's absolute garbage. The first thing is, I'm glad we figured out our technical problems. We almost couldn't record today. Like, that's how we intro the episode. I'm like, oh my God, this is such crap. But it's the crap we turned into a pottery bowl of some sort. So
Out of crap.
out of crap, yes.
We made a pottery
Yes.
bowl out of crap.
So
Scented.
Elegant.
scented, lavender scented pottery bowl crap. That said, put your pick. So pick your character. Don't pick the person who argued. Pick the character, and then put it in the chat. Hit enter, and we will have our winner of the show.
All right.
So,
Okay.
Couldn't find a song for this part. Don't have a sound effect. Oh shit! I just put mine in.
there.
Oops! I hit enter too soon.
We're just gonna all press enter.
Press enter.
Don't look at it. Don't look at the chat yet.
Don't look at the chat yet.
it's
That's fine.
that. Oh,
That's
I'm
fine.
so funny.
Yeah.
You can just put your things up, but whatever.
Yeah. Everybody ready? I think we should just do a sound effect for the fuck of it. What do you say?
Are you sure this is legal?
I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
So, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody on the screen, we actually have a two-way fucking tie. We have Martin and Claudia as winners of the show.
Can I just say we picked like the most irresponsible people? Like, we didn't pick a cop, we didn't pick a lawyer, we picked like a conspiracy theorist and like someone who's like hard up on religion, like a Bible banger.
So you guys get to we have a trophy coming this year. I am looking at putting one on it, so there will be a plaque of a shared win between the two of you, and it's not like half a win and half a win. It's like you both get a significant win, so you can be like, I have one win, right? You don't have a
Just
tie.
no last names on the plaque.
No last
just
names.
First names.
Yeah. So that's coming. You don't walk away with a prize. You just get to walk away knowing that you won the dumbest game. That's the funnest to play.
Sometimes it's all about the bragging rights. That's the most important thing.
Exactly. And I would love it if I walked into a room one day and like anywhere in Winnipeg and heard two people going, well, I went on the Real Debaters. No, I went on the Real Debaters. Sweet. I remember you guys. So that would make me happy. That said, we brought you on because I found you on Instagram under your YouTube channel, and before we let you go, we want people to know about what you guys do, because I watched your unboxing. I watched you have your kid day, like I had my big kid day. You got a brand new PS5 and you were doing an unboxing.
Oh my God, I want one so bad. It's so hard to find one.
And so, but I've been watching you guys before that I love what you guys are doing, because it's everything nerd culture in one spot, right? Like you're not biased, you don't pick a lane, you're just like, if it's nerdy, let's talk about it. So I'll let you do more than I could ever do.
First, I gotta say, I've been hearing about this PS5 for like 7 months. Like, no joke, every week it was like, PS5 is coming.
Yeah, like sometimes I just look at her and just yell it at her. And okay. It's funny that you mentioned, though, you said I love that you said the baby thing, because it's everybody that tuned in. I did funny enough, that was my first live stream experience with Instagram, and Claudia was kind of monitoring it, and a lot of people were like commenting like it was a baby, like, she's beautiful, you're so proud, you look so proud and happy. And I was like looking at it after, I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. But yeah, so basically I have a show on YouTube called the Nerdgasm, and I hosted, and I basically, like, we created, I do all the editing and filming, and we write it together, discuss topics. But basically it's, anything that really interests me, anything that really sparks something that I'm like, you know what, I could talk about this, I could make a topic out of this. We kind of just do. And and then funny enough, this year was obviously, this was a tough year for everybody, but I think for creators, because we kind of do things remotely in a sense, or do things at home, it was actually really productive for the channel and stuff. Like, I had more content this year than I've ever had since I started the show. But yeah, I was, funny enough, so one of the most recent things was I was one of the lucky ones to get a PlayStation 5. So I did an unboxing and I had no idea. Like, I was looking at other YouTubers and some of them I felt was ridiculous. Like they were treating it like it was a car, like they're showing the cables. And I'm like, no, that's crazy. So I kind of tried to make a joke out of it. And that's kind of what we do with the show is I am opinionated with stuff and whatnot, but I try to do it in a way where it's approachable for anybody.
Yes.
Like, if you're a hardcore nerd, you'll definitely appreciate it more. But if you're like just wanting to learn about something, like I always have people asking me things like with the whole Spider-Man thing. Like, so the MCU Spider-Man is not Sony Spider-Man. And I'm like, you know what? This is fucking confusing for someone that knows what's going on. So I can't even imagine with what people, when they're thinking, I want to get into this, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I approach the show, is that I want it to be stuff that people can just get excited for, because I grew up where being a nerd wasn't a very cool thing. It was like something you kind of hid, or like you did it with your nerd friends because you knew you guys all accepted each other.
Yeah.
But now it's at a point where people are interested, you know, like people are going to see superhero stuff, or they're making the effort more because there's so much, like you were saying earlier, there's just content being put out now, you know, and I love that there's just so much to kind of talk about and whatnot. So, and I try to put my own spin. Like I have a very, which I think any movie lover does, kind of a pop culture brain. So I'll make references or I'll say quotes that people are like, what? So in Nerdgasm, I try to actually show those clips. Like, sometimes I let them kind of do the explanation for me in terms of how excited I am or something like that. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. We just passed our 4th year.
Nice.
Which is kind of
nice. Congrats.
crazy. And yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm more inspired than ever. And there's so much stuff kind of with this year too, right? It's like 2020 was kind of put on hold, and then the floodgates are going to open next year, or, you know, like people are like, I think studios are now getting the idea of streaming more into consideration given the circumstances and stuff.
Yeah,
so I feel like all these things that have been put on hold that we're all waiting for, it's going to just come out like crazy, and there's just going to be so much more things for us to discuss and whatnot. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, there's gaming stuff, movies, television. We kind of try to cover everything and anything. I mean, it's hard to kind of keep up because there's a lot of editing, as you guys have that experience too. Like there's so much with video and stuff. So sometimes I want to have things out the day of, and I'm like, there's no way I'll be able to.
Yeah.
So I kind of
totally,
like a TV show, like you're watching an episode in a season of something. So even though I'm a little late, it's like, I'm going to approach in a way that these other guys aren't doing. And it's not just facts, you know? So I do try to kind of have a different approach with it and whatnot, but it's a lot of fun.
And after fact is what I go for now more than like, I like having reference material personally for YouTube. So I'm not a big channel subscriber by any means. Like I have YouTube Plus because someone was like, here, I need to fill it with a friend. So you get it for free. And I was like, okay. And I still don't occupy it enough because I don't know, video just didn't jump at me for this. But now that we can do Zoom, we have a little bit of a video aspect, which is fun. But I like your channel because it isn't like everybody's trying to play first and not accurate, where you're like taking your time and being like, I don't want to be first. I just want to do my thing, which is cool because that's more authentic than somebody just trying to produce it for day of and drop it. And then you're like, okay, yeah, but you just wanted to be in the hashtags at the moment, where those hashtags will still be there 2, 4, 5 days from now. Right.
Yeah, no, I thank you again. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's true. That is a really big way of how I like doing the show, is I'd rather take the time. But when I do discuss it, I got all my shit together. It's like polished, you know what I mean? And like, I'm not worrying about, and I know like, and the thing is, doing any kind of social media game, like I am more about the creating process than I am the social media. Like if I could have someone in charge of press, you know what I mean? Like as lame as that sounds, it's like, I understand why some people have that, because it's a nightmare. Like the advice I get from people too, it's like, well, it's all about the hashtag. And I'm like, no.
No.
You need to post it on Wednesday. Like every time
I'm
at
like,
9 p.m.
I'm like, you don't understand though. I've spent hours creating this and it's based on a hashtag. Like, no, I can't play those rules. Like that's crazy. Yeah. I'd rather get 4 likes and actually be like, well, I'm proud of it, than be like, you know, it's all about the hashtag and this and that. And, you know, it's a hard game to play, but at the end of the day, it's just all about the content and how I like to present it. And I'm kind of out of the mindset like this. If anybody ever looked at me as an influencer, I would be terrified for that.
Yeah. No, dude, I get it. Like
I still like that word.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's
Influencer.
horrible. Because like I'm like, no, I like, you know, if you saw a video and you're like, I liked this episode or whatnot, great. But don't say you were influenced. I'm like, ugh,
Ooh,
I don't want to do that.
It's such a gross word. It's such a gross word in 2020. Like
I like being under the influence, but I don't like being influenced. I don't know.
Right? Like that's way better. But I don't know. I don't listen to me.
Like listen to me, but don't listen to me.
Yeah. Like take my entertainment, but don't look into it further than that. And I'm entertaining you.
Yeah, that's what we do here too. Like we're just a hour and a half away from bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And like if you just listen to the debate, that's what we're doing. We're just adding more content in the front and the back. So if you do give a shit about us, great. If not, like the debate is our jam. Right. So
For sure.
I get it. We'd rather.
I mean, and when it comes down to it, it's like if you want to listen to a podcast about Keanu Reeves' career where they dissect every performance and whatnot, those probably exist. But I'm sure a lot of people have thought, what would Neo like this situation, right? Yeah. I shouldn't say a lot of people have thought of it, but it's something that they're like, yeah, what would Neo be like as a driver instructor? And that's right there. It's like, you're not going to get that everywhere. Like, you're not going to go on podcast listings and see that subject. And that's kind of like what I try to do is I'm like, how many unboxings are there? Like how many of them were there the day of blah, blah, blah. But how many did it like me or tried to make like a show out of it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's, you know, and that's really at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's the entertainment.
Totally. And I agree with you 100%. That's why we were like, how do you not be like, it's very easy to be like everybody else, but how do you do what everybody else is doing in a new way that you're proud of, that you're not embarrassed by, and that people would be interested in? Those are really the three questions when you're creating something. Because my girlfriend says like a lot of stuff is already done, right? Like it's everywhere now. So when you want to, it's like, okay, well, we can do a movie podcast, you can do a geek channel, but here's what I'm not doing like everybody else. So here's what you get that you won't be like, oh, I'm going to skip this because I've seen 34 other versions of it. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, and you said it best, is that's really what it is. It's like someone saying, well, why am I going to make a movie? There's thousands of movies already. It's like, but your movie's not going to be those thousands of movies. And that's what your approach needs to be. Why does it, like, what are you doing that's going to be something where it's like, this is worthy and no one else is doing it? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I mean, also too, is me like doing it as long as I have, and I'm sure as long as you guys have, you're at a point where you're like, not to be a dick, but it's more for me than anybody else. Like if I don't like what I'm doing, why the fuck am I doing it? You know? So it's nice to share it with other people, and it's great when other people love it too. And that's awesome. But you know, I still encounter things where people are giving me feedback where it's like, well, you're just telling me what you would like. And it's like, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, like, no, I made it the reason I made it, because it's for like, I did it and it's fine. So like, I appreciate it, but you know, that's okay.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. We were like, this is dumb, and then it started to be like, no, we like this because it's dumb, and now we just like doing dumb. Dumb is our brand. Dumb is fun, right? And
absolutely, and then sharing that with other people, right? It's even more exciting because like that's why, you know. And
in 2020, I mean, like if you can't fucking laugh at yourself and like get together with a couple of friends and like talk about Keanu, I mean, what are you doing? Like,
what's left?
By yourself.
Probably thinking,
so sad.
Thinking everything we're talking about, and little do you know, you could be getting in on the fun.
Yeah. Oh, we have open casting calls constantly. Like the casting line is always open. So if somebody wants to,
see, there you go.
Like one day I might just throw out the Zoom password onto our Instagram page and see who bombs us during one of these. And
hopefully like, not J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, no, that I'd boot her out.
It's funny. People have asked me, just because like with YouTube, like you were saying, like we always have to worry about licensing, but I'm at a point now with Nerdgasm where I'm like, I make no money. So if anybody were to be like, we're suing you, like the joke's on you, you're not getting shit.
Well,
right?
Totally. Yeah. And the thing is too, is that when you do your editorials or when you do your essays, like your video essays and whatnot, you're not taking it and you're not making something with it. You're talking about it. You're conversing about it. We're not using this to make a movie. We're using the sound bites from a movie that we love for the show to take us into transition points. Like if someone was like, hey, you're stealing Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and we were making a Bill and Ted podcast and we were using the Bill and Ted script, you and I both know that's copyright infringement, right? Yeah. But when you're talking about a thing or using a thing and parodying a thing, it's a different world altogether. At the same time, we both know if they came after us, it'd be like, well, you can have my Nintendo controllers.
Yeah, literally. I don't have a PlayStation 5. You can have my PlayStation 4 though.
Yeah.
No, but like, and there's certain things where I'm like, yes, like we need creative freedom, because at the end of the day, we're creating a big part of the reason too is like we're all broke and like we're all just artists that want to just, have these tools to express ourselves. But if you're making money off of it in a way where I'm like, if somebody was making money off of my stuff and it was stealing, then yeah, that's different. But like you said, if we're using it to express an opinion, I don't understand what the issue with that is.
Yeah, neither do I. Music.
Go after the people that are actually uploading torrents and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And I've always understood copyright with songs because that IP is different. If you're taking a scene from a movie and injecting it into another scene and using it, that's one thing. But when you take someone's song and riff, like even a bar, because music is created out of nothing, that's where I even find more offense when people start jacking people's songs and stuff. Like we've paid for everything that we use on the show, right? Like I search for artists who make a cheaper product so that we can afford it for the show, and I support that 100%. But when you start getting up people's asses for like, hey, I'm using a line from your movie because I'm talking about your movie because your movie's great, as opposed to I'm using a line from your movie to make my own movie that's very similar to your movie, now we're stealing. So it is a fine line. But I mean, thanks, Lars. You really fucked it for everybody. Lars, right. If he'd have been quiet, this would have never really gotten us. People would still pay for it. We'd all share our shit, I'm sure. And even Martin can say it from a creative standpoint with doing stand-up comedy. Like, when you take someone else's joke and riff on it, it's either like, hey, can I take that? Like, if you ask for it, and comedians are like, yeah, take it and run with it, it's going to go a lot smoother than if you take it and then they're like, what the fuck did you take? Like, why didn't you talk to me about that? Right, Martin?
Yeah, especially something like that. Like that's suicide in that industry.
Yeah, you don't steal other people's jokes. You could tag, like you could get some comedian could have a tag for your joke that's like, hey, I think after your whole bit, I think this line would work really well. You could use it if you want to. If you don't, that's as much as I'll go with it. But
For sure.
Anyways, guys, I obviously we're gonna do this again. I hope you want to do it again.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah. Anytime you want to have us back, we are more than happy to. This was
2021 awesome. TV, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, buddy. We're down. We got lots coming. Well, this went absolutely great. I'm glad you guys had a good time. We had a great fucking time with you coming on. So, thank you for putting up for weeks of messaging and emailing and talking. Now that you know, it's like one of those things when you do it. It's like, it's like riding a bike. But when we present something to somebody, I'm always like, here's all this homework. Hopefully you love movies as much as we do, because it won't feel like homework if it is, and it doesn't feel like it was for you guys because you nailed it. You know exactly what you're doing. So.
Oh yeah. Well, and again, thank you so much for having us on. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. And it was funny. We were really nervous at first. I was like, I feel like I'm presenting to the class. Like, like what if we fail?
No.
I kept telling Charles, like, let's just take some shots to like break things down. 5 shots. Let's go.
But now that we've done it, if you ever have us back on, it's like that creativity is just gonna open up even more now. Because and there, like me at least, sometimes I'm nervous about fully giving everything, because I know that sometimes I can, people can just interpret things wrong, and I never want to be putting anybody in a situation or whatnot. But I feel like all of us have the same sense of humor.
Oh,
and,
totally.
We all vibed really, really well and everything. So
totally, dude. No, aced it, both of you. You're in good company. You're in the one-man wolf pack now. So
yes, awesome.
we don't know which one of us is in the wolf pack, but I mean, just shout out to Zach.
It's there though.
It's
we
there.
know it's there.
Yeah. So where can people find your channel? Obviously, the big ones. Where can they all find everything?
Yeah, so I put everything on my channel. My main channel is youtube.com/cfbomb, all one word, literally CF and then bomb. Yeah, beautiful. Get some sound
Get a sound effect.
Yeah, the Nerdgasm, every issue of the Nerdgasm's on there. I have a couple short films and stuff like that as well that are not nerd related, just other things. But
and you got a Christmas special coming out soon.
That's right, yeah. So we do a Christmas special for the Nerdgasm every year. I think we're filming it tomorrow, but regardless, we'll have a Christmas special out.
Nice.
It's going to be our 5th Christmas special, which is crazy to say. But yeah, it's going to be streaming on youtube.com/cfbomb. We also have an Instagram. That's great. We have an Instagram page that we just launched. It's the.nerdgasm show on Instagram. Give us a follow there. We try to make it interesting, so it's not just all the same stuff. So you'll see things on the YouTube channel that you won't see anywhere else, and then we have things on the Instagram page that are just for the Instagram page, so you won't see on YouTube. Gives you a reason to visit both and follow both. But yeah, we're uploading content pretty regularly. We're gonna do the Christmas special, and then I always take a break. It's like my reward. It's like, all right, you've earned this now. And then yeah, like you guys too. 2021, we're looking to just start pumping out more things and having more fun and whatnot. Everybody needs it more than ever. So
awesome. Yeah, no, all of your stuff will be on our website too. We'll tag it to the website so everybody has an easy way to find it.
Yay. Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, it's the Podient that we host on is the shit. Absolute shit. Once we switched from them from
like good poo, right? Not bad poo.
Yeah, not like a Cleveland steamer, but like nice poo. Whatever that is. So we switched to Podient, and we now have a really great website that lets our guests have a bio. Everything that you put online is instantly tagged there just by your social.
Awesome.
So it just shows up, pulls all your bios, so we don't even have to do that exchange. I'll just do that and that'll be done. Claudia, you also do some really sweet makeup on your Instagram page.
I've been doing that personally for a long time, but this year with COVID, I'm like, let's up this game. I have like a tickle trunk just like Mr. Dressup. It's got all my costumes in there. I'm like, let's bust it out. Let's do all the horror, the Chuckies, the creepy, the weird. I'm absolutely no professional. Like there's tons of professionals on Instagram that you can find, and that's where I draw inspiration from. But yeah, I'm going to help out Charles with his channel more and more. So you'll see me in there more and more, which is great.
Yeah, this year I really took I took it upon me to start getting more of my own promos, so taking my own photos and stuff like that. So for Halloween, we had a friend of ours that was awesome. She modeled for like a Halloween inspired shoot, and then Claudia was doing her own Halloween challenge. So it was a new costume, like a new character.
I saw that, yeah.
That was a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So much pain. I will tell you that. So I also use like dollar store stuff because I'm like, I'm not going to break the bank with this kind of stuff. So Dollarama makeup, it stays on your skin, like it stains your skin. I wore like a red for a devil look, and I was pink for like 2 days. I would go out and walk the dog, and people would stare at my face, and I would try to like cover it or like wear a mask so that people would just see my eyes and just think it's eyeshadow. But yeah, I mean, it was fun, but it was a lot of work, but I enjoyed it. I mean, drink a little, paint a little. It's the makeup, right?
That's the best way to put on Halloween makeup. I might actually.
Yeah. It's the only way to have fun with it.
Cool. So, where can people see those costumes you did this year? Where's your Instagram?
So my Instagram is @ClaudLo5. And I'm tagged on Charles's account, so just go on there and you can find me that way.
Yeah, so we put mainly I put pretty much all of her looks on the Nerdgasm Instagram page, and then she is tagged in it as well on her own personal one. But yeah, you guys can see everything again at the.nerdgasm show. That one's on Instagram, and yeah. Also, I have a lot of stuff that Claudia did this year, just thinking ahead, and I'm like, ooh, I can save this for next year. So there will be some goodies too, and she's gonna have some new looks as well too for next year. So yeah.
Sweet. Love it. For everything Real Debaters for me and Martin, just go to therealdebaters.ca and you can follow us on social media there. You can see our cast bios. Once this episode is up, you'll be able to see pictures of Charles and Claudia as well too. The merch store is there. It's got all things Real Debaters through our threadless store. Skateboards, we're still making them, right, Martin?
Please buy a skateboard, Utah, if you're out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, too. I'll say this now. I'll remember to say, this will be a reminder to say it at the beginning. Shout out to San Jose still. Thanks for listening to us, guys. There's like 200 downloads coming out of there on the regular, which means I don't know what's happening and what film community is out there, but we love you guys, so thanks for that. Winnipeg is always much love. Niverville and Stonewall too, like where I don't know who you are, but send an email to the show. That would be cool to be like, from Niverville. All right. Niverville's got film fans. So the Real Debaters, that's REEL. Well, you know what
you're talking like them you're talking to them like they're like Quakers, you know, like they don't have technology. I mean, it's a community just outside of Winnipeg.
No,
they have a fan there every year, which is amazing.
No, I okay, I don't mean it to come out like that, but what I'm getting at is there's fans of the show in Niverville. There's film like shut up, Martin. So anyways, so the Real Debaters at gmail.com. That's REEL for all the spelling. I have been Michael Petrow. In Vancouver has been
Jimmy Skinner.
Our friends from the Nerdgasm show. Say goodbye, guys. You've been.
Thanks so much again for having us.
Yes, thank you so much. It was great.
That's Charles. That's Claudia. And we are gone.